In this video, I'm going to be discussing a little bit more on the autodidactic philosophy, and particularly the line of philosophy regarding the self and self-direction. This concept of directedness is also very, very important, I think, for an individual to develop their own autodidactic philosophy, as self-direction and directedness in particular direct the individual towards what's meaningful and what matters to them as individuals, as well as also what brings us closer to being more mature as individuals who are individuated from society, and that bring unique values and can contribute our unique character strengths that are aspects or extensions of our personality that are typically deemed to be valuable by society and individuals within society, across individuals, for what they convey and how they impact the quality of our perceptions and the nature of our experience and experience of self in particular. They tend to invoke positive perceptions, positive motivations, positive emotions, positive feelings, even inspire positive actions or positive behaviors. They tend to be something that facilitates the good in life. And developing more of these autodidactic characteristics really starts at a fundamental level that starts even as soon as infancy, with self-directed learning and automatic learning, procedural forms of learning that occur that are often self-initiated and stopped too, and which we can nudge our way in various domains to be able to expand our repertoires, to be able to act more autonomously in the world and engage more autonomously in our learning. And there's various types of learning that can be autonomous, and learning that can be done as pairs of individuals, but also there can be synchronous forms of learning, which are much more difficult and not as natural compared to autonomous learning that tends to happen at an individual level and occur as soon as we do things like we start walking or talking. And even as we mature throughout various stages of cognitive development, such as we start to develop language and reasoning skills, problem-solving skills, or learn various subjects, learn various how to perform various skills, various topics, take various courses, or learn how to perform various skills such as cooking and cooking recipes in particular, and how to create our own recipes, or to follow a recipe, to implement a particular set of skills or techniques or procedures. And how we approach that is largely going to impact us differently. When we approach it as a form of an organic form of learning that is completely initiated by the self, we've really moved to the autodidactic end at its highest caliber, where we've scaffolded up from a self-directed position where it might involve going to seek out information from somebody who would know, an expert or an authority in the field, somebody who's also demonstrated this knowledge, or which you have a pretty good idea might know, and they might not know, and that can help you recourse to somebody who might know, and you might be able to gather information that way. So self-direction really starts off with information-seeking behavior and the predicates for that behavior, initiating that autodidactic process. And they're all characteristics of the autodidactic personality, but they don't necessarily develop into a personality until we've had enough accumulate, or we've been able to identify enough within the self or another until we can formulate this recognition of autodidacticism, which has a lot to do with this self-direction, self-directed learning, self-initiating learning, self-tasking, engaging in self-regulatory procedures, as well as taking responsibility of one's life and directing the course of our own growth for self-knowledge and self-mastery and greater self-intelligence ultimately. So we can think of autodidacticism as having three major pillars. One is ultimately to recognize the nature of the self and to develop a healthy integration of the nature of the self within a psychologically sustainable system regarding the self. And the second pillar is going to be about optimizing learning and well-being in particular, and those two are they come into being together. And this starts off with that self-directed learning that's often, particularly as us, we're a social species, typically that tends to be guided by our parents, but it's often initiated by the infant and individuals. They have to be willing to engage with the parent, and that willingness to engage or not engage is very, very important for our cognitive development and the emergence of even more agentic forms of behavior, and particularly vital for things like hopeful action or efficacy to our own individual self-efficacy. It's very, very important for that too, and development of that, and a sense of autonomy and autonomous functioning in the environment, which is vital for initiative and being able to become a self-starter, is having that sense of autonomy. And the last pillar here is going to have a lot to do with how productivity relates to well-being. So you'll see that autodidacticism and a lot of philosophy is related directly to this state of what makes life good, or what is the good life, and it incorporates aspects of what is a meaningful life and authentic living. And autodidacticism really combines and merges these three aspects of well-being that involve learning, productivity, and authenticity that's characteristic of living a meaningful life and what it means to live a good life. And so an autodidactic philosophy really involves and is based on this idea of pursuing what's good in life and the meaning that we find as individuals in life, and which can lead us to more of these self-actualization tendencies that scaffold us up to higher stages of self-actualization. So that's all I want to say for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.